Hey everybody, welcome to the Free Bin, the Toledo, Oregon Public Library's podcast. I'm Harrison.
And I'm Cindy.
And Cindy has an in-depth exploration of a literary genre prepared for us today.
I do. It's like a lot of pages. And
Nice.
I cut it back. We don't want to be here all day. No, we decided we're going to do kind of a little monthly or 6-weekly genre deep dive so that we can get to know the genres in the library in case you're looking for something to read, or maybe you didn't know about a certain genre, or you didn't know that the genre you like falls under another genre, or that there's a sub-genre or a deep, dark genre. There's a lot.
Yeah,
So,
there's a lot.
There's a lot.
And this is a big genre we're going to be talking about
is.
today. So we're going deep.
We are.
We've
We're
got
going
2 cylinders of trimix each so we don't get narcosis.
right.
So if our voices are high pitched, it's from the helium.
No, we are going to go into depth a little bit on this, just because there's so much, and it is the most popular genre currently, according to best-selling lists. So it's kind of a thing, and it's changed over the years. It's kind of interesting. So announcements. Breaking news. Tomorrow is the Story Trackers first meeting at 2:00.
Yes.
Bring yourself.
Bring a friend. It should be a lot of fun. We've got a lot
Yeah,
planned.
it's for 16 and up. It's just to talk about what you love, books, movies, music, whatever you like, and share that with people. Build a little community. It'll be kind of cool. And
Hope to see you
then
there.
there is no programming next week. So next week is the beginning of the 4th of July week. There's a lot going on in town. So be sure and check those kinds of things out. And then, of course, a lot of people are going to be out of town. So there is no story time at 10:30 on Wednesday. No story time. There is no summer reading program presentation on Thursday at 10:30. None of that. And then we are closed on Saturday, the actual 4th of July.
Yeah, most of the city will be taking that Friday off, but since we are ordinarily open on Saturdays, we'll be taking the 4th of July proper off.
Right. So enjoy your 4th of July. Be safe. And don't blow anything up, please. But get out there and enjoy the things that Toledo has, because the Glastonbury Fair is going on right now. It's going to rain, but heck, it happened in the Renaissance. Check out the waterfront, do some fishing, whatever you want to do. It's going to be a good, nice week to just relax. And we will see you at the library for books. We are open Tuesday through Friday, so don't forget about us. We are here, but we just don't have any programming.
Yep.
Okay.
All right.
That was easy. All right, we brought, so I brought the soda, our beverage today. Our beverage is prebiotic soda with ingredients you can love.
Poppy brand,
and it is the cream soda. Now, we have been, as you know, if you're a loyal listener, on a quest for good cream soda. And I tasted this, and it ain't terrible, okay? It's not terrible. It does have sugar. So it's in a pretty blue can with, I don't know what that is.
I think it's an ice cream float.
Oh.
And at first I thought maybe it was like a monochrome orange, peeled orange. I thought maybe it was a hot air balloon, but I think
You're right.
I think it's a cream soda in a kind of flat, modern style illustration.
So it says soda's back, but better. And it is, it's golden. Oh. It's a golden soda. So I like cream soda, and I don't like strong cream soda, But this one I think actually smells like it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, cheers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not bad.
Not at all. That's good.
Yeah, and it kind of got that the foam on top. You can taste that part of it, like when you put it over ice cream. Gives you that foamy stuff. Not bad.
It's more acidic than most cream sodas that I've had.
That could be because it's prebiotic. I'm not sure what that means. It has it has cane sugar, so it's not like it has apple cider vinegar in it, and natural flavors of cream. Mm-hmm. I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
it's got a good.
It's not bad.
It's got a good creamy acidic quality. It's got a little Boston cooler type thing going on.
Yeah.
To it.
Yeah, it's not bad. And, if you're looking for something less calories, it does have less calories in it. It's only got 30. So, it's not like you're getting a chunk of sugar when you buy it. So anyway, Poppy cream soda available at all fine stores near you.
I approve.
Okay.
Thank you. All right. What do you got for us today?
Oh, boy. We are conquering the romance genre today. All right. So romance genre. Whew. Some of you may never read romance. And you know what? Okay. You don't have to. But you might find that there's a lot of romance out there that you could actually enjoy. But we're going to do a little bit of history, and then we're going to talk about what the rules are for the romance genre, because every genre has a set of rules, and then the subgenres, and then the tropes that belong. Now, the list goes on and on and on and on, and I picked the ones that are most likely to be in books that are mainstream that we would have here. So romance dates back actually into the Chinese. There are romance novels recorded in ancient China. And I didn't go into a lot of depths because I can't really pronounce most of those things, and I didn't want to muck it up terribly.
How far back are we talking?
Dynasty back, like ancient China, written on scrolls. Mm-hmm. But we're going to talk about where the dates that we are going to start is in the classical Greek era. Okay. So in Greece, there are only currently 5 ancient Greek romance novels that have survived to present day. And these are the most complete.
Do they have Fabio on the cover?
No, they have naked Grecians on the cover, though. I don't know. No, are they in books? They're probably on parchment. Anyway, there were a lot of stories, and many of them are typical, still the tropes that we have today, friends to enemies, those kinds of things. So we start back there with those Greek texts, but really romance had its biggest rise in the 1800s. Because then we have our classic romance writers, Jane Austen, the Bronte sisters, Maria Edgeworth, all of those romance authors that were writing just slightly scandalous little novels that they considered women. They weren't literature. They were just stories. And a lot of people did not approve of them, but they sold because they could sell for a penny or two and people would purchase them. And then really romance started to really flourish in the early 20th century. And one of the most prolific romance writers started writing in 1920s, Georgette Heyer. And she started with the book, The Black Moth was the first one. Mm-hmm. And her novels were very inspired by Jane Austen. They were stories of dukes and duchesses and all of those kinds of things. And she wrote 1 or 2 novels per year until she died in 1974.
Wow. So was this the beginning of that Regency period?
The 1800s
romance.
Right. Now we look back and go, it was the Regency period, but it started during Victorian times. Right. Queen Victoria said she liked her romance novels. It started back in the days of just the. And a lot of it was British. So, there's a fascination with the British nobility, and that's really where a lot of them were. Where the penniless girl meets the duke who falls in love and marries her, and she becomes a princess.
I know that novels, historical romance novels set in that specific, early 19th century period are their own thing. We got the whole Bridgerton series now.
Right,
so I wondered if this was the genesis of historical fiction set in that.
It would have been contemporary.
Contemporary, right.
Now
shortly.
We look back and go, oh, Jane Austen is set in Regency, or she's set in
right.
Edwardian. So then they didn't think of it that way. They just thought of it as contemporary novels.
Yeah.
So it really gained popularity in the 1930s because people were snatching it up, and it became mass market produced.
Well, I think of, sorry, this is a weird digression, but I just, for some reason, I think of like the band Sha Na Na.
Oh, yeah.
Doing like throwback 50s style doo-wop, but that was only like 20 years after. And like now moving through time, I think that was really not that long after the 50s to be doing kind of a winky throwback. I'm like, I don't know a lot of people doing like winky throwback 2005 stuff yet. Like
it's
seems
coming.
like it's coming. Seems like we've slowed down on that kind of stuff. I don't know. Sorry, continue.
That's okay. So the Canadian company Harlequin Enterprises, which if you are familiar with romance, Harlequin is the name in romance production.
They're Canadian?
They're Canadian.
I thought they were American.
No, and they eventually purchased a publishing company out of Britain, and they really cornered the mass market production of romance novels. And in 1957, they started distributing them in the North America. So a lot of times, up until that time, you weren't getting the same kinds of books. You were getting some, but you weren't getting this mass market produced books where you could go and buy a paperback for $2.
And they have so many distributors. They've got Harlequin suspense action. They've got subgenre dedicated houses within Harlequin.
And so it's a massive company. But back in 1957, they had a decency code. And so they would they would choose the books that they wanted to sell here in America and Canada, and they would reject some of the more spicy, or what we would call spicy, but racy books from England. And then that started to change. And then one of the other things they did is that they made a very good marketing strategy to sell books where women go. So they would sell them in supermarkets or in, I don't know, they didn't have malls back then, but they would sell them where women would frequently go. And then they started a reader service where you promised to purchase 5 books a month, and they would send you books every month. Now, those are still going on because we have patrons who do that, who purchase books all the time from readers services. So Harlequin really cornered the market on a lot of those mass-produced ones.
And was this their internal code, or was this a wider thing like the comics code?
No, this was, the decency code belonged to Harlequin only.
So it was their in-house policy.
It was their in-house policy, and Harlequin was run by women. 3, a daughter and a mom, and I think somebody else. So it was run by women.
Yeah.
And it was a very successful model. It still is to this day, one of the biggest publishing houses around for cheap mass-produced books.
I look at...
Not particularly plot heavy.
Yeah. I was just thinking about the comics code because it's always fascinating reading like those old EC horror comics. But I'll say those pre-code comics, I don't think a lot of those comics publishers were run by women. No. I think there were not it's pretty clear that there were not a lot of women represented in the editorial decisions there.
Right. And they did mention that in this article. And this is from the article. It's from shereadsromance.com. She's a blogger and she's very knowledgeable about the whole thing. And she has listen. She does talk about the comics book code and how that's not what she's talking about with the romance. So that's a whole nother genre to explore. All right. So romance is the undisputed bestseller ever. When you look at what sells best, romance sells best, and it's judged by what happens on Amazon, on Kindle, and on traditional publishing, sales, loyalty from the audience, how much loyalty return people are buying other books and buying new romance. So it remains the strongest performing genre across Amazon, Kindle, and traditional publishing. It's massive global readership, fast release cycles. So it happens, you can get a new romance book every month, every week, every day, probably. and countless subgenres, which we will talk about. And there are a billion. To keep it at the top. It's also the most book talk friendly genre, and it drives huge sales spikes. If something is put out there on the internet, people are like, yeah, we want that. And romance readers tend to be really like, yeah, we need more. Why does it stand out? Contemporary romance is a literary powerhouse, contributing to the romance genre's $1.44 billion annual revenue.
Wow.
Bestsellers like The Hating Game by Sally Thorne highlight the genre's ability to mix relatable characters, witty dialogue, and heartfelt emotion. So it's all... And we're going to talk about all the different kinds of romance books. But lately, and the trend that I've seen as I'm buying stuff is we're seeing more and more contemporary romance that features 18 to 30-year-olds, college romance. Lately, sports romance has been huge. And I have a theory.
Oh.
Want to hear my theory?
What's your theory?
Taylor Swift is marrying Travis Kelce. That's my theory. That sports figure...
Yeah.
Girl next door, sports figure, superstar, that has translated into some author went, oh, let's do that.
And now we've got the hockey romance adapted for TV.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Starting to get those, that bridging. Bridging some audiences. The Swifties are watching.
I know. So there are two rules for romance. To be a romance novel, it must have a central love story between characters, and it has to have an emotionally satisfying happy ending. There are some grayness in some of the subgenres, which I think is for me, a personal choice. And we'll talk about that too. But but that's the two things. It has to have a happy ending, and it has to have a romance of some kind. So the subgenres, here we go.
Before we continue, I want to put an asterisk on that because I'm going to ask you a question later. Just don't let me forget. Continue.
Okay. So contemporary is one of them. It's the same time as the book was written in. So if you write a book about 2025, or if it's 2025 and it's written in 2025, welcome to the contemporary romance. Jojo Moyes is an example of that. She wrote Me Before You. I tried to get authors in here, but it's one of those. We have tons of them that are written in the same year. It's just contemporary. It's right now romance. Dark romance is the ones that I struggle with because I don't happen to think violence is dark. Is romance. That's my personal thing.
Well, what are we classifying as dark? Is it subject matter or is it just tone? And because you can do like the Twilight things, you got vampires and stuff,
right,
but it's a pretty chaste situation.
This is mature themes. Morally gray areas. The character has morally gray areas, which may include violence and abuse.
Oh.
It often
50
contains...
Shades of Grey? Does that count?
No, that's its own genre.
That's its own genre.
It's BDSM. I know. I learned so much.
I might. I'll let you go because I have questions about that, categorizing that story as that either because it doesn't jive.
I know.
But anyway, okay, run.
Often these contain trigger warnings. So there's several authors out there. Stella Hart is one that writes quite a lot. I've never read these, so I'm not recommending any of these. I've never read them. One of them is called Crawl. It's a dark stalker romance. There's a whole series about stalkers. One's called Make It Hurt. Reader beware. Just saying, dark romance is tricky, and I personally would not classify it as romance because I don't think you can get a happy ending out of that.
I would need to read because obviously when I hear stalker romance, those come as I cannot imagine how that works,
right.
But also I am kind of curious to see what the flow is because Right. Sometimes you read something through and you're like, I can't, how is this going to work? And then you read it and it's like, oh, it's Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe the stalker, might not be the love interest. It may be someone falls in love while dealing with a stalker and it's too
and that would be like suspense romance.
Right.
But no, this is dark romance is the stuff that we don't want to talk about and in a happy little place.
Things that maybe live in the world of fantasy that most of the readership maybe would not engage with in the real world. As something to explore in your imagination.
Yeah. Okay. So erotic romance is when intimacy or sex between the characters is central to the main character's growth and relationship. Again, that's not my genre. I don't particularly read that, but the storyline would be damaged without that intimacy. So it is key to the intimacy is key to the storyline. My Rules is one by I can't remember the first name, but Swan is the last name. Big Bossy Mistake by Monroe. Those are books that I just pulled off a list. So, choose your book. Fantasy romance or romantasy includes fantastical, magical, and supernatural plot lines. We're all familiar with fantasy romance. It's so popular right now. Outlander by Diana Gabaldon. All of the Sarah J. Maas books are fantasy romance. There's so many out there.
That I have not read the Outlander novels.
I haven't either.
I've seen little bits of the show, and it seems like that gets way dark. Like there's some intense stuff happening.
Yeah, and it is, but it is time travel, and
falls under the fantasy.
I think I read the first few chapters of, and they're like 4 inches thick, and I just didn't get into it. But some people love it, and people love the television show. So,
very popular.
whatever your thing is.
Thick books, too. Those Outlander books, those are heavy.
Yes. YA fantasy is a blend of romance and fantasy. It is really aimed at 12 to 18-year-olds, but a lot of YA fantasy lately, just, reader beware that they're going to tackle adult themes. More and more we see that and have had to think through where are we going to put these.
Some things lean more toward the Y, some things lean more toward the A.
Yeah.
And if you're writing a series that maybe you're looking for a 17 to 18-year-old older teen audience, if you're going to keep that audience,
right.
If you're writing those books for 10 years, you're dealing with people, you're an audience in their late 20s.
Right.
If you want to grow with your audience. So sometimes, maybe the first few books will skew a little bit younger audience, and the later books will skew a little bit older audience because writers mature too.
Yeah, and it's like the Harry Potter books. They start when they're like 11, but by the time they're done, they're in their, they're much older, and the themes change throughout the whole thing. Now, while we still put them in juvenile, I think we still do. But there's we have shifted Sarah J. Maas because the themes get much more dark and adult, and that's okay. We're not banning the books. We're not saying you can't read them, but we are putting them where maybe they need to be.
Our goal is always to put the books in front of the people looking for them, not to hide them from audiences that we don't want to see them.
Right.
And when it comes to YA, I feel like increasingly, YA implies a certain kind of vibe, but the audience goes from teen to there's no upper limit on who's reading YA. And it does make it kind of, since we have a designated YA section, it can be interesting because there's no upper age that you see with people browsing our YA either.
Right, absolutely. So YA, some of the, Cassandra Clare does the City of Bones series. There's a book called Shatter Me, Powerless. They are usually themes of young love or obsessive love sometimes, or and they're usually geared towards that high school crowd. Some of them are really good. I read some YA. I used to read it all the time, but I don't so much anymore. There's just too many books out there. Historical romance is the ones that we see have boomed in the last few years since Bridgerton came on television. Now, Bridgerton is based on a series of books. Just keep that in mind. The book, I don't know if the books are better. I have not read them. And then we're seeing more and more books like that come out all the time because they're easy to write, typically. But historical romance is a time frame before the 1950s. So contemporary, while it is in the time, they don't consider like historical before after 1950. Too many people are still alive in the 50s.
I could see things. I'd be comfortable moving that bar up a little further.
Yeah, I think that's probably okay. But yeah, typically these are the different genres that you can get in historical romance. There are too many authors to list, but I listed like Kleypas. I can't think of her first name. She writes a lot. Georgette Heyer, Diana Gabaldon, Garwood, I can't think of her first name. And they usually are written like in medieval periods, Viking age, the 17th century, Scottish Highlands is very popular. Mm-hmm. And those are the covers Fabio's on, just FYI. Colonial America, Regency England. Of course, Regency is really, really popular right now because of Bridgerton. Victorian England, American Civil War, American Western expansion, the earliest 20th century, 20s, 30s, 40s war, the Great War, the two Great Wars. I mean, it just goes on and on and on.
A little aside, just something I'm recalling from my from a history class I took in college about Viking Age Scandinavia. Is apparently from like written accounts surviving from that area, there were different cultural standards of cleanliness and things during the Middle Ages, and it varied widely. So like in the Western Europe, in like Christian areas, people did not typically bathe frequently because it was considered like vanity if you were over keep yourself together, keep yourself clean, but you wouldn't like bathe all the time. But in like Muslim majority areas, the bathing was a big deal. People bathed as much as they could. Like but in Scandinavia, people would bathe like once a week, and it was standard, which is right in the middle. Right. So to people from like North Africa and stuff, Scandinavians were disgusting because they weren't bathing every day and all that. Right. But to like the Christian areas of Western Europe, these guys were super clean and they like braided their mustaches. They did all this. And so apparently when Scandinavians would settle, and of course the Viking excursions would show up, there'd be a lot of fire and fury and they'd raid things, but then they'd settle in, and after a generation or two, you just have these Scandinavian settlements disappearing into the regular population. But apparently Vikings at the time, or like recent Scandinavians, once they had started assimilating, were like sought after by the women of,
they were clean.
And I'm sure the other way too, women versus men, because they had this, they bathed every week. And that was like, there wow. But then if someone from like, someone from a Muslim majority country went up, they're like, everyone here's disgusting.
Right.
So, I don't know.
You go.
Generalization, but that was something I heard that braiding the mustache, apparently people were like, wow, that's cool.
Classy.
That's a classy guy there.
Yeah, we'll take it. He'll add to the gene pool. So historical romance can go on and on and on and on. And the longer we live, the more historical stuff we see. And historical romance is basically where I sit when I read romance. And I typically read romance. I read mysteries, and I love historical mysteries. But lately I've been on kind of a romance, Regency mystery kick. And I don't know why. I just do. I just like it. And I think I like it because it harkens back to a day where there were rules in society about how people behaved, and I think it's interesting because a lot of the ones I've read lately have been talking about women's rights in that period of time, and there were very few, but the men were able to give women rights. They were able to like transfer their property to their wife. They were able to do that, but if a woman married someone, all her property that she brought as a dowry or even an inheritance, unless it was earmarked by her family, like her father left her a trust or something, all of that money went to the husband. He regained control of it, and he could be a total jerk about it. And then if he died, she did not inherit it. It did not come back to her. It went to the rest of the family. And so sometimes that's the plot. There was one book I read where that was kind of the plot, where this woman lost her husband and then she's trying to regain her stuff back. But so it's an interesting time and well-researched. Most authors are pretty well-researched about it. And some of them, though, I'm like, no, that didn't happen.
Doesn't sound right.
That's not right. So anyway, that's historical romance, and I think that's probably, of the ones that go out here, that's probably the main one.
It gives you both the escapism of like having a different time, sometimes a different place, and also, like you said, it has that appeal of it's different rules for the author to work with it.
Right.
And I like that. Like I like when it comes to sci-fi or fantasy, seeing an author give themselves a set of rules and then write their way within that.
Right, like, which is really nice, because then it's a lot more authentic.
Hard to do.
So holiday romance, of course, that's self-explanatory. It's romance written around holidays. We have lots and lots of Christmas ones, because Christmas is a romantic time of year, I guess. Valentine's Day, New Year's, lots of New Year's tropes about that, that missed moment.
Kissing Santa Claus.
Yeah, right. That too. The LGBTQ romance, the main characters, the rule for this one is the main characters identify as LGBTQ somewhere on that. McQuiston, who wrote the hockey one. Yeah. He writes. Michelle Hart, Alexis Hall, those are all authors that are selling quite well. They also has its own subgenre of historical and those kinds of things too. So that's kind of, you have to kind of look, each one of these has its own little subgenre again. New adult romance is one I had not heard of, and it's the one that the characters are in the 18 to 30 age bracket, and it often takes place in college or right after college. So it's that time in someone's life where they're younger, but they're not, and not settled. It's the 20s, their 20s. And Elle Kennedy is a big writer of those. She's written a whole series about that. Own voices is its characters represent the same identities as their author. So while that is a romance genre, that is kind of its own thing too. We see that across all the genres. I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Huang Jenkins.
Wang, I think.
Huang?
I think that's Wang. Correct me if I'm wrong. Hoang.
Yeah. Jenkins and Daria are three who have written quite a few about their culture and the romance within that. Many of them are contemporary romances, but a lot of them, they again, it goes all over, historical, whatever.
How long do you have to live before you write historical romance as an own voices thing?
I don't know. It's just identifying yourself as that. I don't know. That's a good question. That's philosophical. Paranormal romance. Now, paranormal romance includes, but is not limited to, vampires, werewolves, ghosts, etc. Heather Graham writes, Larissa Ione, Cressley Cole, all of those guys write paranormal romances. But there is also a subgenre of just vampire romances. So there's also werewolf romances. You can find Bigfoot romance, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah. There's Bigfoot romance out there. We need to get some. I ordered some Sasquatch-related materials. None of them are terribly romantic. They're quite
not
descriptive.
Right.
But it's interesting to me, like that the way monsters change, and maybe when they change from objects of actual cultural fear to fictional characters, that I guess monsters in general, but you wouldn't guess these.
Right.
Like if you were to go back a couple hundred years and talk about like sexy vampires.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is a dead body that crawls out of its grave, goes tries to get into its own family's house and then sucks the life out of everyone, either physically by drinking blood or in a lot of cultures just by kind of draining the life force just by being there. It's disgusting. And if there's and usually the stories that I've heard, the old ones, are that they, they're kind of maybe based on how, a pre-scientific idea of how disease spreads through families. So it's like, no, it's it's grandpa coming back and draining the life from his family. It's like there's not even some seduction happening. It's just disgusting, but it's changed a lot. It's different. These vampires are totally different from old folkloric vampires.
Yeah. Well, the perfect example is the Twilight series. It has both vampires and werewolves. There's also, so many others that have the vampire. What's the one? The Suki Stockhouse ones?
Stockhouse. Suki, no.
Yeah, what is the name of that?
And we watched the show. That was probably the most common line in that show, as I remember.
Yeah, and so
Suki, no.
That's a whole series, guys. That's like a
True
book
Blood.
Series. True Blood.
Yeah, they've got a Skarsgårds in there.
Yeah, at least one.
At least one. There might be 12 in there. I'm learning about new Skarsgårds every week,
So Paranormal Romance covers all of that kind of stuff.
Those Vikings people, they bathe a lot.
That's
they smell great when they're not eating fermented fish.
Right.
Yeah.
Or vampires. Romantic comedies, we think of that as a movie genre, but books are like that too. The humor is central to the story. The romance, now keep in mind, the big arc of all of these is there's a romantic story that ends in a happy ending, supposedly. But humor in romantic comedies are central to the story. And Jenny Colgan is one of my favorites. Thank you. Jenny Colgan is a great writer. She writes about Scotland, the island of Muir. She's very funny. Her characters are funny. And she doesn't. You're not helping. Stop helping. Emily Henry and Emma Chase are newer romantic comedy writers. And if you enjoy a book that makes you laugh or just want a lighthearted, lovely romance story, those are good authors to go to. Romantic suspense. We have some. These are classic people who write. I think they're mostly alive. That sounds terrible. I don't know. But back in the
mostly dead all day.
Mostly dead. The plot line includes suspense or mystery in addition to a love story. So again, there is an overarching love story, but it includes suspense or a mystery or it's like a thriller. Mary Higgins Clark is one of she's been around forever. Nora Roberts, who takes up many bookshelves in our library. Julie Garwood, Sandra Brown. They are considered romance books, but they are thrillers and suspense romance. And then sports romance, which again, my Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce, I will stand by that as a trend. People want that. The heated rivalry, it's set in some aspect of the sports world, baseball, hockey, football, whatever. Tessa Bailey wrote Fangirl Down. There's a whole series of books by Tessa Bailey that's all about sports. Romance. YA romance, young adult romance, is written for 12 to 18-year-olds. Sometimes, like we talked about, they're intended for a more mature audience. But they include people like Emily Henry, Jamie McGuire, Nikki DeMarco, Melanie Sellier, Sydney Swanson, both of which, are newer authors from, like Melanie Sellier's from out of state. And a lot of them are... we would consider them like romanticies because there are many, many young adult readers like romantasy or like fantasy books. They tend to read those more because they're living their real life. They don't need that. Inspirational fiction, inspirational romance is another one. It has a theme, Christian theme or a spiritual theme in it. There's a lot of those too.
I'll say we have a decent number of specifically Amish romance.
Oh,
Inspirational usually is like a market term for Christian fiction. And Amish fiction, it is its own thing. And I think that comes with also the fact that, like, my understanding, I think this is still true, that Amish communities still have rules of courtship and things like that in real life, that's how you get along in those communities. And it also it's one of those life situations that makes for good fiction, that where those might not apply to most of the world, the modern times that we live in.
Right.
Some of those things at least derive from older traditions of courtship, marriage, things like that I haven't read any of it, but I see how it's relatable if you're Amish, and it's also, if you're not Amish, it's a different
it's a
thing
door
to
into
experience.
a different world.
Yeah.
And a lot of times I think romance, we hearken back to a day where things were different, where it was easier, we think, or it was a more simple way of finding love, or, you know, the conflicts didn't seem to be quite so great, you know, and now contemporary fiction can be, or contemporary romance can be really fraught with lots of angst.
Or the reverse can be true too, where a lot of narrative and tension and problems, things that can drive a story, romantic or otherwise, a lot of that can just be circumvented by having a phone now.
Right.
You can clear up misunderstanding. You can resolve a lot by, like, taking your phone out of your pocket and being like, let's hang on a minute.
Yeah.
And so you have to, like, come up with ways, if you're writing modern stuff, for that not to happen.
Right.
And in movies, it can be like this kind of a thing that's sort of glaring if you think about it, where people are meeting at restaurants a lot more than they do in real life now, because the whole movie would just be an email. This movie could have been an email. And so
that's true.
So I don't know. I guess there's meaning in that too, of that going into a circumstance, either modern or historical, where people have to talk to each other face to face. Yeah. Has narrative value.
It does, and appeal, I think, to people. So inspirational romance or Christian romance, whatever you want to call it, there's lots of authors. I've read a lot of them. I tend to like suspense more than pure romance, but they're out there. I mean, certainly if you need something, come find me, I can tell you. So along with all of those genres comes romance tropes. And we've talked about tropes, and a trope is a plot device or a theme used within a romance novel or any novel, giving a recognizable starting point to the story that a reader can recognize. Okay? Like academic rivals to lovers. Two professors at a college are rivals for the same seat in a chairman position, and then they end up in love. Arranged marriages or a marriage of convenience. Those happen a lot in those historical romances. Best friend's brother. So there's two guys that are best friends. The sister falls in love with the best friend. Enemies to lovers. That's another one where they start out hating each other. These are all plots to Hallmark movies.
And I've got to say, I haven't personally observed that ever working out in real life.
Best friend's brother.
Or enemies to lovers, where people hate each other and then they fall in love. I feel like I'd be very worried if I saw two people I know going down that road. I think let's be, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'll tell you how to live your
but
life.
It works in romance.
It works in the stories. I'm sorry.
Fake dating or fake relationship I watched. There's so many Hallmark movies that are that I need a boyfriend for a wedding. There's one called, I can't remember. It's really funny though. I think it's called Be My Other or something. I don't remember.
Always Be My Maybe is a 2019 film released in theaters and on Netflix, written by and starring Ali Wong and Randall Park.
Forbidden romance. Now, forbidden romance is another one of those where you go, please let this work out in the end, and sometimes it's interesting how they get there from, but it also reminds me of Romeo and Juliet.
Yeah. Like, how did that work out for them?
Yeah,
how are those kids doing? Are they fine? Things great?
That is not a romance because it doesn't end well. It's a tragedy. So forced proximity. Two people get stuck on a desert island together. Mm-hmm. Or they are forced to stay in the same bed and breakfast, or they both rent the same house at the same time. Anyway, there's lots and lots of those tropes. Found family. Found family we find in all genres, kind of across the way. It's finding a family that you fit. It's finding your tribe, and even if they're not related to you, you find this family. And a lot of people of us have found families, of our own that we are not related to. And that's kind of a fun one because I like the idea of people coming together and creating a community and a family that supports and takes care of each other when that hasn't been typical in someone's life. Mm-hmm. So that's a fun one. Friends to lovers, best friend, you're my best friend, and oh, I'm in love with you. That's usually how it goes. Mm-hmm. Grumpy Sunshine. Now this was a new one.
I like the name. What's
I know.
That?
Grumpy Sunshine is when one character is a pessimistic grump and the other one is always sunshiny and happy.
So it's a buddy comedy, but they take it a little further.
It's a romance. It's a buddy romance, I guess, where, the grumpy one's irritated by the sunshine one and the sunshine one's irritated by the grumpy one. And, so
it's Shrek, but Shrek and Donkey fall in love.
Yeah, there you go. That'll do it. Oh boy. Jilted bride. So somebody gets left at the altar. Mm-hmm. It could be a groom too. We are not, we're not just doing women here. Men get left too. The love triangle. I think Twilight is a love triangle trope.
Yeah.
But it all works out in the end, I guess. Somebody has to choose. Somebody has to choose.
Yeah.
Here's one for you. Monster romance.
Yeah, we did an episode on that a while back. You can check it out. Monster
romance is somebody in the main characters is a monster. And I think we have a couple of those. I think I ordered one for young adult that, you can come in and see what you think of monster romances. And they tend to be, and we're not even talking about spice levels here. We got to come up with our own little category for spice levels, like mild to nothing. There's lots of ways people describe it, but that's another podcast.
And I learned from a crossover with at the time Coos Bay Public Library had their podcast, Swords and Starships. It's still online for you to check out. It was great. And we did our crossover episode on monster romance. Brittany's very well versed in that. And I learned that evaluating the spiciness of some of those monster romance, the sci-fi and fantasy things, it's getting spicy in different directions altogether. Like you've got all the conditions are different.
Yes.
It's interesting.
That's why fantasy is like its own thing. Office romance. So, working in an office, people at a job. Mm-hmm. Opposites attract.
That can be an HR problem.
Yeah, it usually is. Mm-hmm. And some of these I did not put on here because some of them I'm like, and like that dark romance that we talked about, dark romance tends to have lots of things in it that are not really appropriate, like student-teacher relationships or a boss and an employee, things that we would go, no, no, or huge age gaps, like old men and young girls. And so that is another thing. Just a warning that you research a little before you jump into something. You might find yourself going. Royal romance. There's tons of royal romance. You would think that Europe is just dripping princes and princesses. I don't believe they are. The ones I think of are all married or old enough, not yet old enough to get married. But, look at the way that the whole there's so many people that are so into royal stuff, and there's a fascination with that. And then you can make up countries like Liechtenstein. Liechtenstein is a country, right?
I think so.
Or, the Princess Diaries.
Yeah.
So
although historically, I don't know how often they marry outside the family. You know, all of those countries' royalty, they're cousins in some.
You gotta marry. Apparently, royal has to marry royal, which I find. I don't know. I'm not a monarchist or whatever they call them. But I don't live. I'm American. I'm an American. We fought that war. Okay. Second chance romance. So it's something usually, and there's a lot of these too, where you meet someone, you have a connection, you are separated for some reason, and then you have a second chance at that romance. Here's another one that I think was terrifically exploited by Harlequin. A secret baby.
Secret baby.
Secret baby.
Secret baby.
Now, this only works with women having the secret baby because men are the ones that don't know, but women typically know when they're pregnant and having a baby. So the secret baby is kept from the man for a variety of reasons, or he just walked out, or it was a one-night stand, or whatever. Anyway, secret baby trope.
There's that song. You know the one.
I do?
Yeah, you do. Who did that song?
The only song I can think of is Be
All I
Mine.
wanna do is make love to you. You remember that one? That's a secret.
Is it a secret baby
song? Yeah.
Oh.
About they have a one night stand.
And then they have a baby?
Why is the band not coming to my? It's one of my favorite bands, and it's not coming to my head. But yeah, it's about they have a one night thing, and then they run into each other years later, and it turns out she just wanted to have needed to have a baby, and she needed someone to do that, and he sees his child. Sorry if I spoiled the end of the song. You're going to spend 3 minutes, and I spoiled the twist last verse, but you know the song. But yeah, that's where my
right. So the secret baby thing, again, it's one of those things that you kind of go, this could have been solved with a phone call.
Yeah.
Could have been solved. Hey, dude, I'm pregnant.
Heart. It's Heart.
Oh,
the band Heart.
Oh, okay.
I was like, why is their name not coming to me? Yeah, it's a Heart song. All I want to do is make love to you. Sorry.
Okay.
Continue.
Okay. So, again, secret baby.
Secret baby.
Secret babies. Yeah, I've seen them. And so at the library I worked at in Illinois, we got lots and lots of Harlequin book romances that people would donate, and we would recycle them, or we'd put them out for a little while for free, but we would keep the most ridiculous covers. Okay. Mm-hmm. And one of them I remember was the billionaire businessman's triplets. So this guy gets a woman, they have a relationship, and then, of course, he won't marry her, but she's pregnant with triplets. I'm sorry.
That sounds...
The billionaire's babies. I mean, Lord.
I'm trying to picture this as like... I was unfamiliar with this as a romance genre.
Yeah.
This seems like just a stressful, difficult situation, like especially for the kids. Like I feel like romance is, I don't know. There are a lot of priorities that immediately spring to mind ahead of a love story.
I know.
Like who's taking care? Like what's I'm worried about these kids. Like, is this, I don't know.
I know. See,
sorry,
and that's
this is outside my sphere of expertise of what's in these stories. I'd have to read one and see what it's really.
Well, the idea is, because it's a happy ending. So you have this mom who has this baby who didn't tell, but she worked hard, and now she's a single mom, and she meets up with the guy, and the guy's like, "Oh, is that your baby or that your child?" Well, no, actually it's yours. And then they have to resolve that conflict.
Okay.
And then there's a romance because he realizes that, oh, I loved you all along and I want to raise this child with you and blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it works as the plot moves forward.
Yeah.
I agree, though, that it's not the best way to plot this, but, it happens. So.
Yeah, I can see when steering toward the happy ending. It's a big thing. It's a lot of narrative to come pulled together. Yes. I see that.
Yeah,
okay.
So it's a resolution of a problem. It resolves in romance. Mm-hmm. A single parent. So it's usually a single dad because we all know they're fair game. I don't know. But I just laugh because I was reading something. In most books, it's like I can tell this story because I love my dad, and my dad is gone. He's been gone now 5 or 6 years. But when my mother passed away, he became like the most eligible bachelor around. And he was not a single dad. He was in his 70s. But it's that idea. Oh, let me bring you a casserole. I mean, so there. That's what makes me laugh about the single parent thing, because yes, single dads exist, and they are doing a great bang up job for the majority of them. And women tend to, go towards those guys.
Yeah, there's
that are doing the honorable thing.
There's a series of books, I believe self-published. I forget the author. That's all shape-shifting bear men.
Oh yeah,
they turn into bears, and a lot of them also. Or at least one of them in one of these series, because they're series, sub-series, spin-offs. Single dad.
Oh.
One of the core titles, because I was looking at these when I heard about them. I'm like, maybe we should get some of these. Single dad, ripped.
Well,
on
of course.
The cover, he spends a lot of time at the gym and a lot of time with his kid, and he turns into a bear. Brown bear, I think.
Oh, okay. Well,
I don't know. Maybe a black bear. I don't know. I'm just making it up based on what it looked like to me on the cover. I could be wrong. I'm not great at identifying bears. I don't know if that matters what kind of bear.
Well, grizzlies are mean.
Polar bears too. Polar bears hunt people. I would
choose brown bears because they tend to be a little more docile.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I know.
Bears?
Brown bear and black bears.
I thought those. Oh, black
and brown bears. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, you don't want a grizzly. Grizzlies are kind of mean.
Yeah, and grizzlies.
I mean, come on.
And then I think polar bears are one of the few species of large predator that actively hunts humans as part of its normal kind of behavior. So that would be an interesting story, though. A single dad
who's a polar bear
who turns into a polar bear and hunts people for food.
Right,
so you gotta I mean, it would be kind of a werewolf story, except bigger.
And then he meets a girl on the ice and brings her back to take care of his cubs.
Yeah.
But he doesn't eat her.
He brings a seal.
See we're talking we're talking dark romance, okay?
Very dark.
Okay. Slow burn, which means that the development of the romance between the characters takes an entire book instead of being like a quick romance. It's a slow burn. Some authors are super good at this, at building that anticipation and keeping that a little more realistic, perhaps. And I don't know. I have been in the dating scenes for 40 some years, so don't ask me. But that idea that people are getting to know each other before they, culminate their romance. And so slow burn books, I did not come up with any authors, but I think I probably could if somebody came in and asked for them, because sometimes they build over an entire series, which is kind of nice, you know, gives you something to read. The dare or the bet romance. I dare you to make this girl. Yeah, she's that. That's a movie. I bet you can't date that guy for 6 months. 10 Things I Hate. Not 10 Things I Hate About You. What's the one with Goldie Hawn's daughter and Matthew McConaughey? 10 Ways to...
How to Lose
a Guy in 10 Days or something like that. Yeah. I don't know. Anyway.
Yeah, that's a good standard template.
Yeah,
it's just a bet. They have to do it. They pretend to do it. They fall in love, and then you were only doing this because
you hate him.
No, I fell in love with you.
Yeah.
And then everything's happy.
Yeah. That's the bet romance. I dare you romance trope. Time travel is a big trope too in romance, and we see that in a lot of books. Again, vampire and monster romance, and then one more is the wounded hero. So it's usually military, and that actually military should be its own genre, in my opinion, military romance. There's a lot out there. One of my favorite authors is Dee Henderson. She writes inspirational romance, but her books are really well written, especially her military ones. And the romance is not necessarily central, but it is part of it, so you could probably classify it as romance and thriller. So there's lots out there, but I wanted to go over the last to wrap this up, because we've been talking a while, and then you can ask questions. You have a question to ask.
I do.
The top 10 new romance books, and I have not even looked at these to know if we have them, but these are The Austen Affair It's a time travel one. They're filming the two people, Tess and Hugh, are co-stars on location for a film adaptation of Northanger Abbey. They find themselves thrust back in time to Regency England after a lightning strike. Mm-hmm. There you go. By the Horns by Ruby Dixon. This one is it looks like it is a monster thing.
Okay.
A year after the events in Bull Moon Rising, Gwenna tries to distract herself from hearing the thoughts of the dead via mind-blowing sex with a blindfolded Taurian. Enter Raptor.
Like a minotaur?
I think so. Enter Raptor, recovered and working undercover, who finds his new co-worker suspiciously familiar. A charming and hot monster romance.
So she, via sex with a minotaur, I'm guessing by Bull Moon Rising, by the Horns, she can hear the thoughts of the dead.
Apparently.
This is I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
this is a lot of rules to make work in your story.
Yeah, absolutely. A gentleman's gentleman.
I'm just thinking, hang on.
Shouldn't have mentioned it.
I know, because I'm thinking like that would be quite a thing if you went to like see like a palm reader, and you're like, I want to go get, the fortune teller thing. This'll be fun. And she's like, hang on, I've got a minotaur in the back. You can. There's only one way I could do this.
Oh.
$75. You can leave the room if you want for this.
Oh. Yeah.
Okay.
A gentleman's a gentleman. TJ Alexander, I think this is LGBTQ. Lord Christopher Eden and his new valet, James Harding, try to navigate London during the season as Christopher has to find a wife to keep his fortune and estate. Unexpected adventures and revelations around this story, which is filled with so much love, joy, and validation. The Gilded Heiress by Joanna Shoup. And this is, if you like the HBO show, The Gilded Age, which is the height of the 20s? No. It's the height of like the Rockefellers and that kind of stuff.
Yeah, before that. There was the Roaring
crash.
20s, and then the Gilded Age was before when that led to that crash.
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Conman Leo Hardy's looking for his next score when he spots street performer Josie Smith. He plans to use her for his next swindle, a revenge plot against a wealthy New York couple. All right. Is This Real or Just Pretend by Emily Sullivan. Businesswoman Alexandra is in need of a fiance to appease her company's board. Oh, we know this trope. Fake marriage, fake relationship. Enter Lucian. Aspiring restaurateur looking to fund his business. Realizing a mutually beneficial opportunity, the characters create an arrangement that gets complicated, of course, when fake feelings become real. Mm-hmm. It Had to Be Him by Abib Khorram. Old high school classmates, divorced Noah and freshly heartbroken Raman, run into each other by chance while vacationing in Florence, Italy. There you go. Mm-hmm. Mate. Oh, here's another one.
That's a direct title.
That is a direct tire by Allie Hazelwood. Serena, the first known human-were hybrid, has to navigate threats from all directions with the help of her mate Cohen, the alpha of the Northwest Pack. For how long can they resist their bond and keep the secrets they carry?
Hang on. So we're talking were creatures, werewolves, this. Mm-hmm. Isn't that a hybrid already? Like, what happens?
I think
do you turn into a wolf like a quarter of the time, like every other month?
Maybe.
Like, how does that work?
Human were. I would say the hybrid is that one of them, her parents were human, and one were werewolf.
I'll have to read. I'll have to learn about it. I don't get it. This is I don't get the concept. I don't get the premise. But the solution to that is
research.
The book. Read the book.
Rules for Ruin by Mimi Matthews. Trained to disrupt the patriarchy, Effie infiltrates a powerful Viscount's inner circle to bring him down. Her mission is complicated by her attraction to Gabriel, a man with his own plans for the Viscount. Witty banter and chemistry distinguish the cat and mouse romance. Wild and Wrangled by Lila Sage. Now, we didn't talk about cowboy romance. It's a big one, too. Mm-hmm. When Cam's Wedding of Convenience. See, we recognize that trope, don't we? implodes. She doesn't anticipate being comforted by her cowboy ex, Dusty. Of course, his name's Dusty.
Dusty? That's very on the nose.
Dusty and Cam. The shock increases when she discovers he is now her next door neighbor. Of course he is. A lighthearted romance perfect for readers who enjoy a strong found family element. I don't know any cowboys named Dusty. I know I had an uncle I married into a cowboy family, just FYI. I know a Rusty. His name was Russell, and they called him Rusty. But I never have known a Dusty. That seems like a very tropey cowboy name.
That does. And this reminds me of something. So, something to know about our collection development, which probably not many people will care about, but it's relevant. We get a lot of our Westerns on a standing order plan. Which covers us pretty well. We get nice large print volumes. But we often don't do a lot of targeted collection development for Westerns. Right. I was just recently searching for kind of new and novel Westerns because you get these ones that are kind of new and different takes on the genre if you do a little searching around. So I went ahead and did that. And just looked on Goodreads at the most popular Western novels now. Most of them are romance novels.
Yeah, they are. And we've gotten a few in our subscription. We've gotten a few, but they really are. It's like a whole. I told you, romance rules the roost. Okay, last one. Willing Prey. It's another one for you. You monster guy. By Ali Oleander. Claire's summer vacation plan is to stay with Shane in his isolated home and be on call to run through his wooded property as he hunts her.
That's a little troubling. Go on.
Between heated primal prey scenes and homey binge watching sessions, this novel calls to readers who like erotica hot and cozy.
So this is, hang on, let me look at that thing again.
The bottom one.
Be on call through his wooded.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's just they're playing around. It's not full on. He's not hunting her with a rifle. This is a game they're engaged.
Yeah.
That's fine.
He apparently is just needs to hunt.
He just wants to. All right.
Yeah, I think that's his thing.
If the characters are into it, that's not a good time to me. But I mean, if you found two people who are into that I'm happy for them.
Yeah, okay.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Just be consenting adults.
Yeah,
I don't agree with you, but just be consenting adults, okay?
I'll stay in the house. I'm going to watch.
You're going to binge watch something.
You go hunt each other outside. I'll turn the TV up and, just tell me where the nacho cheese is or if I need to bring some.
It just reminds me, some romance stuff reminds me of you have 3 jars and they have the names of characters, the trope, and a plot line, and they just randomly choose them and are I'm going to write a book about this. And it's okay. I guess that's a good writing exercise, but as long as people publish and read, it's going. Okay, what was your question? About it was way back at the beginning. Here's my question as for whether this is a romance story or not, because it's not an erotic story.
Okay. It's not it's a companionate story.
Okay.
The Venom movies. It's
Oh.
about a man and his alien symbiotic monster that lives in his body, and they learn to get along. They develop affection for each other. It's not a romance in a couple sense, but they come to depend on each other. They come to, I'd say they come to love each other in a way, and it's a companionate relationship. That arc of those movies is these two characters, very different, kind of in the enemies to, not lovers, but they're inhabiting the same.
Enemies to friends.
So I'm
tolerating each other. I don't know, because that's not, that doesn't follow the rules of romance, because it has to have a satisfying, like, romantic ending where the couple.
Oh, I don't want to spoil the movie, but yeah, the ending might disqualify.
You think about that. I would put it in a, like, what other books do that same? I mean, there's books about just friendship, a deep friendship between two people that doesn't necessarily pan out into a romance. For example, 84 Charing Cross Road, same kind of thing. These two people, very different, exchange letters over a series of years and end up very close friends, but not lovers.
Yeah.
So that's an interesting thought, though.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, the romance genre, there's so much out there you can do. If you are a romance reader, you probably know what you like and what you don't like. A spice meter, those things are helpful to know, because sometimes I will get into a book and then it'll be like, oh, yeah, yuck. Can we just move on? I don't need that in my life right now. I like, and some writers have great plot lines and then they disrupt it with, stuff I don't want to read.
And sometimes it's part of a story. Sometimes it is the point. Sometimes it heightens some aspect of the story. It can be hard to tell.
And sometimes it's just superfluous.
Sometimes
I needed 5 more pages.
Yeah.
And that's okay too. I mean, you pick what you want to read. I just had this
Minotaur in my notes. It's gotta serve some purpose.
We gotta do something with him. So, there's so much out there for so many people's taste. That's why books are wonderful, and you can read what you want. And I won't particularly judge you for what you read. But in general, romance is a good story with a happy ending, if that's what you're looking for. And that's the romance genre.
Yeah. And if there's something that makes you say, like I have done a lot on this episode, and say, how's that going to work? That's why we're here. You can come get the book and read it. Yeah. And maybe you'll come away saying, I don't get what was appealing about that at all. Or you might say, you know what? I get it.
Yeah.
Maybe, they made it work. You'd be surprised. Or, yeah.
I still really, though, I'm going to be really honest, I really do struggle about the super dark romance.
That's there are some things that I
could be really opinionated, but that's not necessarily my job on here. But I do really think that some of it can be extremely harmful. And then we have to be careful, because it can be really close to reality for certain people. And so dark romance can be tricky, because I'm not sure you can equate abuse with romance.
And folks have different ways of processing things too.
Yeah, and maybe
you may be in a place you may want to confront something in a fictional context. You may want to work through it in a fictional. You may not want to encounter that topic, or maybe you want to find some way to play with that idea in a place where it can't hurt you. And I understand that too, because I'm as morbidly curious a person as I am. Sometimes the way you deal with one way of dealing with a scary monster when we have actual evil in the world is to watch a movie where it's pretend. Yeah. And you can put yourself back in that state where the monster's not real and forget for a little while that sometimes the monster is real.
Right. And I think there are many books out there that are written. And I've read books where I've read through a situation in the book and gone, oh, maybe I could handle this situation in my real life like this person handled it in the book. And that's okay too. That's a good way to process it. But you're right. But, we all have our own taste. And everybody's welcome to it. And now you know more about romance than you probably ever wanted to.
So come on down, check out whatever you want.
I would say...
Tell us about it.
I would say we probably have at least one book about everything in here and dozens about certain tropes.
I hope so.
We have a lot.
We got so many dukes.
That's right. And bare-chested Vikings and Scottish people who wear nothing but furs in the winter. And hopefully they stay warm because it's cold, man.
Just a kilt.
Just a kilt. The tough guys. Just tough guys. Anyway, come on down. And I'm ready to say goodbye.
Yeah. So, talk to you next week.
Bye.
Bye. The Free Bin is a production of the Toledo Public Library, which is part of the Lincoln County Library District in beautiful Lincoln County, Oregon. Writing by Harrison Baker and Cindy Bilek. Original music and editing by Harrison Baker. The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect those of any organization they represent. Good night.